Radhaite Vyasa Madhvakare Vyasa Manapragya Manana Bhagavati Hari Maya Shya Shishya Boli Angi Karakare Akshobhira Shishya Jaya Tirtaname Parichaya Anandase Jnana Sindhare Avadoite Nidhi Taradasa Vidya Rajendra Ilo Tade Vara Kinkara Jaya Armanami Parijaya Arumpara Janamalumate Jaya Dharma Dasi Kyati Shipuru Sotamaja Ate Brahmanya Tirtasori Yasatir Tatara Dasa Lakshmipati Vyasa Dasa Aite Aravinda Puri Aravinda Puri Vara Shishavara Shishvara Nityananda Shri Advaita Vihu Ishvara ke Puri Kiranya Kari Linga Shri Chaitanya Jagaguru Gaura Mahatma Prabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nandiyanya Rupa Nuga Janera Jivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Swarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana Apriya Mahajan Jiva Raghunatha Tana Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Varana Tama Seva Parana Jadapada Vishwanatha Vishwanatha Bhakta Sata Baladeva Jagannatha Harapriya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Mahabhagavata Vara Shri Gaura Kishvara Vara Hari Vajanite Jaramola Shri Varsavana Viva Sada Seva Seva Tamaradaita Dasana Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Swarupa Rupanuga Shri Keshava Bhakti Pragya Gaudiya Vedanta Vedo Maya Bharatanu Anta Auravani Prachara Chadama Pracharilo Gauravani Bhakti Vedanta Swami Parayalo Prabhupada Keshapriya Mahacana Gauravani Hare Pranadana Hey Savari Jana Sarangerani Jana Tadera Uchiste Marakama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara. Page 1236. Vrindavana Bhakti Vatu Vaishnavera Gana Vartame Vandana Kori Sabara Charana Nilachale Vasi Jato Mahaprabhu Gana Bhumite Puriya Mano Sabara Charavana Abadvi Pravasi Jato Mahaprabhu Bhakta Sabara Charavana
Can you fix the light?
Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jato Gaurade Shri Sri Sabara Charana Bandhu Kariya Pranati Ese Ese Vaise Gaurange Lagana Baba Kori Vando Sagara Charana Vayache Vai Beira Prabhuja Dasa Sabara Charana Ante Kori Gasa Ramanatharite Shakti Bhari Jani Jani Evera Purani Gunagari Jivasuni Mahaprabhu Gana Sabha Patita Pavana Karilo Vimoi Apiloi Nishwarana Undana Karite Ato Shakti Dori Tamo Guni Dose Mori Damba Macho Kori Tatapi Mokera Bhagya Manira Ulasa Dokshakshami Moradame Karani Jadasa Sarva Bhakya Siddhi Hori Rama Bhanda Chute Jagate Dolaga Vaya Prema Bhanda Lute Manira Vasana Para Acharya Dole Devaki Nandana Dasare Love Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav
Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava. How come nobody's here? Thank you for being so responsible. That's how it is. Voting lots. There's always one person.
Page 200.
So, I know how to keep it on. Keep it on, baby. Great.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Dvaya Kori Svaparsara Sviya Dhama Sahavatari Atyanta Dolabha Prema Kari Bharidana Shikaya Sarana Ghati Akatera Pravana Anya Atmani Vedana Gopchit Vevaravana Avasya Rakshi Krishna Vishwasapalana Bhaktiyanukula Macha Ayala Svikara Bhakti Prati Gula Bhava Bhajanam Bhadra Saranga Sarana Gati Oi Vedavara Tara Pradhana Sune Chaitanya Kumara Pasanatana Pade Ante Chela Gori Agati Vinona Pare Uparadori Hariya Kariya Bore Amitavana Sitaye Saranagata Sitaye Saranagati Araya Saranagati Now we can do one of the Sharanagati songs. Okay. Actually, Amara Jivana. Novasanti. Sarapa Verata. Nahika Punyala like that. Okay, to page 102. Page 202. Amara Jivana Sarabhe Nahika Punyalisha Hare Udrika Doyachi Diyachi Vedesa Nija Sukagi Pavena Nivani Doya Vina Svarta Parasuke Duke Sarami Javasi Paradha Sukha Asesaka Virivaje Mora Kaurida Mahaya Adamata Sara Vichraye Mohitam Himsagarva Vibhusha Abana Nijasartha Sukhaye Virata Akaye Yagyami Prachishta Bhagya Sajacharaya Lobhata Salatami Eyanadurana Sajacharaya Aparani Nirantara Shubhakaya Sunya Saratamana Nanadhuke Jana Vandakya Gevana Payavina Tathena Kinchana Agati Vinaya Prabhara Chana Kanarika Nirena Prabhu He Prabhu He Prabhu He Prabhu He Jaya Jaya Bhakti Vinod Jaya Bhakti Vinod Bhakti Vinod Jaya Bhakti Vinod Jaya My life is perpetually dedicated to sin, thus I am without a trace of piety. I have given others great anxiety and brought only misery to living beings. For the sake of my own pleasure, I am not afraid to commit any sin. Devoid of all compassion and full of selfishness, I feel sorrow at the happiness of others. I am an inveterate liar, and the misery of others delights me. There are unlimited material desires within my heart. I am full of anger and devoted to false pride. Indeed, I am always intoxicated by conceit and bewildered by material or mundane enjoyment. Envy and egotism are my ornaments. Plagued by indolence, I am disinclined to perform pious work, but I am enthusiastic to undertake forbidden deeds. For want of prestige, I behave most duplicitously. I have been destroyed by greed and am always filled with desire. Being such a miscreant and being rejected by saintly persons, I am a perpetual offender. Devoid of good deeds and habituated to vice, I am oppressed by various miseries. Now in old age I am deprived of any remedy. Thus the humbled and poor Bhaktivinoda submits his sorrows at the feet of the Lord.
I have a question. So, how can a perfected being like Bhaktivinoda Thakur say these things? I know he takes on humble moods for us, but to me, sometimes when I hear this, it just feels like lies because he's not like. Is he really experiencing these like pangs and material miseries? Like, I thought he was like, you know.
Yeah, he's, I remember when they, came in about Bhajans in another country, England. He said, if you don't stand in stone, then you will, then you go into the chanting, Hare Krishna with material desires, and chant. But because they write, and this is in the first person singular, say, then towards me, and we start accepting that that's us and how much we need mercy. Also, besides that, in addition to that, they are humble. I don't know how they could think of that about themselves, but if you remember in Basanti's reading of Bhakti Bhavatirtha Maharaj the other day on his appearance day, Srila Maharaj was saying that Srila Bhakti, that Lord Chaitanya told his devotees that I'm going to do a drama where I'm going to play Lakshmi, and anyone who is attached to his senses, has uncontrolled senses, is not qualified and can't hear. So then Advaitacharya said, I have uncontrolled senses, so I'm not qualified to hear it. And then Srila Haridas Thakur said the same thing. I can't control my senses at all. I'm not qualified. And then Srivas Pandit said the same thing. And then Mahaprabhu said, all right then, by my mercy, I'm making you qualified to hear. So they really do think like that. Like Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami said, anyone who remembers me, my name, he'll lose the results of all of his pious activities. And anyone who says my name, he'll get all sins. But they're also saying it for us so that we can get the impressions. That's why before we sing any kirtan, we pray to the person who's the author of the kirtan, saying, this is your song, it's not my song. Please make it my song. Make your words and my heart one. Make your heart and my heart one. But it's inconceivable. And yet at the same time, they know who they are in the spiritual world. So it's inconceivable. Gurudev said that prema and humility are one. That's when you really become humble. We act like it now. I mean, we don't act humble. I mean, we're not humble, but because that comes at prema. But we try to do the things a humble and say the things a humble person would say. I'm so full of that. Boo-boo. But really, it's an act until those later stages of bhakti come. Like even the coward boys who could easily kill Aghasura, the big snake demon themselves, they wait for Krishna. They know, well, Krishna could do it. It's inconceivable.
Chord carefully. Ready for it to make this one?
It's okay.
Page 96. Do all together. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo Kamadina Daya Jagata Samsare Patita Paraditu Tadavadana Vasamadita Prabhu Napaye Vira Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Suti Joya Kora Sita Mani Advaita Gasa Tamani Bhavareta Chaitanya Ita Asmar Sarvata Stop this, it's duties.
Somebody shared it.
I can. This lady,
What's the difference between stava and this?
Yeah,
what's the difference between a bhajan? What's the difference between a bhajan and a sloka?
Bhajan is a song. It's like a kirtan. And that's what the slokas verse.
Can we get one for do you have a phone?
Do I have a phone?
We're sending this one.
I don't have a local phone.
Oh. Here, I can just stand.
So when are you having?
It's hard. Share with me. We're gonna chant some slokas.
Yeah. It's in there.
Oh, it's
Yatkinkareshu bahusa kalukakubani Nityam parasya purushasya shikantamolai Tasya kada rasanidhe vishvanujayas Tatkeli kunja bhavanam ganamarjanisham Yo Brahma Rudra Shukla Narada Vishwamukher Alakshito Lasasa Purusasya Dasya Sadhyo Vashikarana Churnamananta Sate Tamradika Charana Renu Manusmarami Yasya kadapi prasanam chalakilonata Dhananyati dhanya pavanena kritartamani Yogindra durgamagatir madhusudhanupi Tasya namostu vrishabhanubhavodishepi Padamchayostava vinavaradasya meva Nanyat kadapi samaye kila devi yache Sakyayate mama namastu nityam Dasyayate mama rasostu satyam Devi
Can you use the microphone? It has been backing up.
Vadami Radham Karunavardham Rato Vajasti Krishna
Tadada Padam Varasya Shriya Bindaranya Vilasinim Vidinasat Dama Viramodara Radhaskanda Niveshito Jwalabhuja Dhyaye Madamodara Purendi Varakanti Bindu Vadanam Paravatam Savriyam Shrivachakamudara Koshtuvadaram Pitambaram Sundaram Gopinam Nayanotpalaichitadhanum Gopasangavritam Govinda Kalpenu Divyangabhusham Vaje Kasturi Tilakam Nanatapatale Vakshastale Kushtuba Nasagre Varamantikam Karatale Venukade Kankana Sarvange Harichandanam Sulalitam Kante Chamuktavale Gopashri Pariveshita Vijayate Gobalachudamani Parabhidam Nata Varavapukarna Yogarnikaram Bibladvasakana Kakavi Samvejayantim Chamaram Ranvenuradhara Sudaya Purayan Gopavinde Vrindavana Sapadaramanam Pravishat Kitakirti Shyamam Niranya Paridimbanamalyavara Dhatu Pravananatameshamanubhratam Shinyastahasthavitarena Dhunanamabjam Karnolpalak Kapolamukabjasam No Vidyate Bruvapuse Tadirambaraya गुरुजावदंश परिपीचरसन्मुखाय वार्याशुजे कवलवेत्रविशालमेनु राक्ष्मश्रिये मृदुपदे पशुपङ्कजाय अन्तापि ते देव परमोजदया प्रसादना संगृहीताय वाहि जानाति तत्त्वं भगवन् महिमो नाचन्यये कोऽपि चिरं विचिन्वन् तदास्तु मे नाथसभूरिभागो भावेत्रवन्यत्र तु वातिराष्ट्रम् येनाहमेकोऽपि भवजनानं भूत्वा निषेवे तव पादपल्लवम् यूयं निलोके बत भूरिभागो लोकं पुराणं मनयो वियन्ति यशं गृह्णावसतीति साक्षात् भूतं परं ब्रह्ममनुष्यलिङ्गम् श्यामा सुन्दरा श्रीकन्दाशेखरा स्मेरा समुरलीमनोहरा राधिकरसे गमं प्रेमनिधि सा प्रिय शरणकिङ्कारिं कुरु अहो भाग्यं नन्दगोपव्रजोकशं यन्मेत्र परमानन्दं पुनः ब्रह्म सनातनम् नन्दाकिमकरोत् ब्रह्म श्रेया एव महोदयं यशोद च महाभागा यस्य सदामणि नमस्ते कालसत्याय जगन्नाथसुताय च सप्रित्राय सपुत्राय सकालत्राय ते नमः वन्दे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य भक्तानुग्रहकातरं येनाकेनापि सन्तुष्टं भक्तदतेन श्रद्धया वन्दे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यं भगवन्तं कृपार्णवं प्रेमा भक्ति विनर्तनं गोदावरी विश्वम्भराय गौराय चैतन्याय महात्मने सचिपुत्राय मित्राय लक्ष्मीस्य नमो नमः श्रीमन्नवदीपकिशोरचन्द्र हानाथ विश्वम्भरनागधीन्द्र आशीष सचिनन्दन चित्तचोरा प्रसीद हे विष्णुप्रियेश गौर आनन्दलीला मयविग्रहाय हेदाम्बदेव्याच विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसाप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते वैराग्यविद्या निजभक्तियोगा शिक्षार्थमेका पुरुषा पुराणम् श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपा बुद्धिर्यस्तदां प्रपद्ये जयति जयति देव श्री सचि गर्भाजनं जयति जयति भक्ति प्रेमदायी करे धर्म जयति जयति मेरु स्वर्धि गौरङ्गधाम जयति जयति धन्य कृष्ण चैतन्य नमः संसार दुःख जलदो पतितस्य कामा क्रोधादिनाक्रमकरैकबलीकृतस्य दुर्वासना निगदितस्य निराश्रयस्य Chaitanya Chandramama Dehi Padavalamvam Anarvita Charim Chirat Karunaya Vadinavanu Samarpaitamam Tijwalarasam Sabhakti Shriyam Nipurata Sundara Titikadam Vasundipita Sadaridaya Kandara Spurato Vasachinandana Radha Krishna Prana Yavikrita Radhi Shakti Rasman Ekatmana Vapi Bhuvi Puradev Deha Katotu Chaitanya Kamra Karta Madhunata Dvayam Chikyamaptam Radha Bhavadhyute Suvaritanomi Krishna Swarupam Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kitri Shovanayaiva Svatayana Bhuta Madhurima Kitri Shobhamadiya Sukam Chasya Madhanam Bhavata Kitri Shambhiti Lovat Tarbhavadya Samajani Sachigarba Sindhu Harindu Jai Sachinandana Jai Gaurahari Sachinandana Jai Gaurahari Jai Sachinandana Jai Gaurahari Sachinandana Jai Gaurahari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo.
Store women out there.
You put a fifth canto part 2 here. And the new one. Agyanam timirandasya Jnananjana salakaya Chaksuranmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavaktaya Namo Namah Yam Pravajantam Madhupedamapedakrityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruajuhava Putri Dikanmayataya Taravo Banedos Tam Sarvabhudaridayam Mani Manatosmi Bhaktya Aparadalakshay Japtasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Toivasmi Najivami Kambina Iti Vidyayarade Tam Nayamam Sharanantiki Kripayati Yadi Radha Padita Sheshabadha Kema Paravashishtam Pushti Maryadayormi Yadi Vadati Chakinchit Smera Sodita Srir Twijavaramani Pamtya Mukti Shaktya Tadakyam Shama Sundara Sikanda Shekhar Smera Samurali Manohar Radhika Rasikamam Kripandite Swapriya Charana Kinkari Karu Prananatha Vishwabhanu Nandini Sri Makajara Salola Satapada Radhika Padatale Kritastiti Tambajami Rasikendra Shekhara Sambadaya Dashine Trinam Vibho Parthaye Brajamanendra Nandan Astu Mohan Tabati Vallava Janma Janmani Mariswari Priya. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances and the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad, Asto to the Sakshi Shiman, Shila Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, and to my Shiksha Gurus, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Shila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudevs, Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Bhavan Maharaj, and Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. So, welcome back to the hellish planets. And here we go. We're reading from the 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam called The Hellish Planets. And, oh Prabhu, you're not a book. You are Sukadeva Goswami yourself. You are King Pariksit yourself. And you are Srila Prabhupada yourself. Please, all of you, bestow your mercy on us. Shower your mercy on us so that we can realize what you're trying to imbibe in us, and so that we can come out of the hellish planets where I live and become Radha Dasi. So I think we're on verse 6. King Sukadeva Goswami is telling King Pariksit, the king of the Pitas is Yamaraj, the very powerful son of the sun god. Because his sister is Jamuna, right? Jamuna Devi, the river. And she's known as Surya Putri, or the daughter of the sun god. He resides in Pitriloka with his personal assistants, and while abiding by the rules and regulations set down by the Supreme Lord, has his agents, the Yama Dutas, bring all the sinful men to him immediately upon their death. Bring all the sinful men, after bringing them within his jurisdiction, he properly judges them according to their specific sinful activities and sends them to one of the many hellish planets for suitable punishment. Again, nobody gets what he doesn't deserve. Why me is a waste of time. These are also called misgivings. Why me? I'm always a victim. So yesterday, one of you asked, what is the Pitriloka? And so I looked it up in folio because in a simple way, it's called the planet of the ancestors. But then again, everybody who died is an ancestor of somebody. So I looked it up in Prabhupada's folio, and we see this. Pitriloka is a heavenly planet, and it's one of the planets where people who do good, charitable work. Yamaraj, as you read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, is one of the administrative demigods in charge of Pitriloka. Another one is Aryama, but we'll hear about him in a bit. Vidura, the great, he's born as a Sudra, but he's an associate of the Lord. And he is Yamaraj. But what happened is, he did some mistake when he was young. Yamaraj was cursed to be a Sudra, to come to this, well, that's not right, I said that all wrong. What happened was, Yamaraj didn't want to just punish people. He wanted to preach. So he came down as a Sudra in the material world to preach. And then when he went back to Pitriloka, all the residents there welcomed him back and put him back on his post. So Pitriloka is the place of the demigods where qualified ancestors live. So if somebody worships the ancestors, worships the ancestors properly, then he can go to the planet of the ancestors. It's not that someone sends their deceased ancestors to Pitriloka by doing a certain kind of Shraddha worship. As I mentioned, Ariyama is another one of the demigods in charge of Pitriloka. And Prabhupada quoted Bhagavad Gita that Janti Deva Vrta Deva, and that verse means that those who worship the demigods take birth among the demigods. If you give her a flower on one side, yes. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, Krishna is saying. Those who worship ghosts and spirits take birth among the ghosts and spirits. Those who worship the ancestors go to the planet of the ancestors. And those who worship me will live with me. In one of his purports to that verse, Prabhupada said, by yoga, you can go anywhere you like. There's different kinds of yoga. There's physical yoga, there's philosophical yoga, and there's bhakti yoga. And by that, you can go to the Pitri Loka, or also if you offer pinda to the forefathers, and by offering shraddha, pinda to the forefathers, then you can go there as well. Of course, depends on your other activities too, because they're combined. Whatever good and bad you did, you have to get the results from both. And also a few answers that Sripad Maharaj gave, which is that the dancers yesterday, I asked them if they wanted mala for chanting. Radhika, you want to hear Madhu Maharaj's answers?
Yeah.
To the questions that you were asking and we were wondering?
Yeah, I want to hear it, but I want to be exempt from the hellish planets class because it gives me the
Creeps?
the heebie-jeebie. I'm not accustomed. It freaks me out.
Okay, just stay for this part then. You probably remember. You have subconscious remembrance.
I don't know. I just Gurudev never really talked about it, and it just freaks. I never was I've been spoon-fed honey since I was a baby, so I'm not accustomed to hellish planet katha. I have heard it a couple times from you, so I feel like
You got it.
I've got it. I've heard it once. I can name all the planets. The one with the going down your throat, and you don't water the plants, and all of them. I could probably talk about them all.
Okay, so we'll just hear Sripad Maharaj's answers. So the dancers were here, and they wanted Tulsi beads because anyway they worship Tulsi, and they offer Tulsi garlands to Lord Jagannath every day and decorate his body with Tulsi leaves and manjaris. And so we wanted to give them neem beads instead of Tulsi beads because Srila Gurudev said that unless someone is vegetarian, they can't get Tulsi beads, they have to get neem beads. But we weren't sure because they do all these devotions with Tulsi. So Sripad Maharaj said, while they're here in our temple, yes, preach to them to give up fish non-veg foods. Don't give them tulsi beads, even though on their own they may worship tulsi. But we don't want to encourage them by giving them tulsi beads. What they do, they do.
What about kanji mala? Is it the same?
I believe so. And then he was saying that Jagannath, offering everything to Jagannath, but Jagannath doesn't take non-veg. So that can't be offered. So then it comes back to the verse in the Bhagavad Gita. If you take foods that are not offered, then you're verily eating only sin. Hare Krishna in the morning. And you can speak this kata, vegetarian kata, and they'll say yes, yes, but then they won't be able to do it
Once they go back.
once they go back.
I think slowly they will.
Yeah,
Not now,
because they're
but I
getting
think-
secretes. So he was saying, and then I was reading in Prabhupada's folio that in Jagannath Puri and in Bengal, 90% of all the people eat fish. 90%.
Including Jagannath's pandas.
Really?
They eat fish, chicken, everything.
Wow. Then he said Jagannath is very merciful. Whereas Radha and Krishna and Lakshmi Narayan would not accept, no one could go on the altar, for example, here. But in Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath accepts their service even though they can't follow Brahminical culture. But that doesn't mean he'll accept anything to eat from them, but he's encouraging them in their spiritual life. But still there has to be a reaction.
Oh, what about Jagannath Prasad then? Is it not Prasad?
Well, I asked about the Jagannath Prasad. I didn't say that he won't eat anything that they give, but he won't eat that,
You won't eat the bad things.
the bad things. So I asked about, like, there's an idea that Jagannath Prasad is more powerful than Krishna Prasad. So Maharaj said, Mahaprasad is Mahaprasad. It's not more powerful. And then I asked about, I think you were asking about, like, we know that sins take shelter in grains and beans. So I asked about the other prohibited foodstuffs, or barley. Sin is there. But you asked particularly about cinnamon. What's so bad about innocent cinnamon sticks? So he said, regarding to some of them, prohibited foods like cinnamon, it's not that sins live there, but it's an austerity because everybody loves cinnamon in their preparations. So,
But everybody loves cheese too.
so therefore I asked your question, where did Sanatan, or was it yours, where did Sanatan Goswami get the, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, get what are the prohibited foodstuff? So in that he answered, Sanatana Goswami requested Gopal Bhatta Goswami to go to South India and learn from the priests there who are very paka or very strict to find out prohibited foods, and also from various Vedas and Puranas, though he didn't know the names. So then he said it's an austerity. Our self-realized acharyas have said this food, this food, this food. Of course, Ekadasi, as you're indicating, we honor so many delicious things. But these are the ones that they say. Hmm?
So, is it because cinnamon it kind of stimulates the digestive system?
No.
I don't know.
Is that not-
But anyway, there's a certain list of
that's not
foodstuffs that
It's under that, yeah.
that are considered the austerity for Ekadasi. I don't know why I wrote 60,000. Yeah, so if you want to hear his voice directly speaking, because I just took some summary notes, then you can hear that. Oh, okay. So you can go now, Radhika. See, these, you've heard it a couple of times,
Yeah,
but they haven't.
yeah, it was at the Hollywood House, remember when you were giving us
Yes,
advice
and
about,
they,
about why we shouldn't be afraid during book distribution, because these are all the,
people
why
are
we shouldn't be
suffering.
afraid to be bold, so you did an extensive
Hellish planning class.
hellish
Mhm.
planning class that
So
I
you can go.
have etched into my memory.
Thank
They're
you.
all gonna
So
be-
all these devotees haven't heard it. So at least once they can hear it. Okay, then Sukadeva, and Sukadeva Goswami, he's a real honey nectar person, being Radhika's parrot, but still he took the time to say this. Some authorities say, this is Sukadeva, some authorities say that there is a total of 21 hellish planets, and some say 28. My dear king, I shall outline all of them according to their names, forms, and symptoms. The names of the different hells are as follows: Tamisra, Andatamisra, Rorava, Maharorava, Kumbhipaka, Kalasutra, Hasipatravan, Sukarmuka, Andakup, Karnibhojan, Sandangsa, Taptasorni, Vajrakantaka, Salamali, Vaitarani, Puyoda, Pranaroda, Vishana, Lalabhaksha, Saryavedana, Avichi, Ayapana, Chirakardama, Rakshagana Bhojana. It's just so scientific. These are these kind of planets, these are these kind of planets. One thing it does is takes away our faith in all these mundane scientists who are just speculating. All these planets are meant for punishing the living beings. My dear king, a person who appropriates another's legitimate wife, children, or money, a thief or a kidnapper or one who takes another's wife, is arrested at the time of death by the fierce Yamadutas, who bind him with the rope of time and forcibly throw him into the hellish planet known as Tamisra. On this very dark planet, the sinful man is chastised by the Yamadutas, who beat and rebuke him. He is starved and he is given no water to drink. So he gets beaten, chastised, starved, starve to drink. Thus the wrathful assistants of Yamaraj cause him severe suffering, and sometimes he faints from their chastisement. Rosie, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask this morning? So I think we can, and you have to leave at 10.
Can I do my log is to upstairs? Then I ask you some question.
Yeah, okay. The destination of a person who slyly cheats another man and enjoys his wife and children, cheats another man and enjoys his wife. This is a continuation of the same. And children is the hell known as Andatamisra. There his condition is exactly like that of a tree being chopped at its roots. Even before reaching Andatamisra, the sinful living being is subjected to various extreme miseries. Those afflictions are so severe that he loses his intelligence and sight. It is for this reason that learned sages call this hell Andatamisra, because Anda means blind, and Tamisra means ignorance, loses his intelligence. A person who accepts his body as his self works very hard day and night for money to maintain his own family and the bodies of his wife and children. While working to maintain himself and his family, he may commit violence to other living entities. Such a person is forced to give up his body and his family at the time of death, when he suffers the reactions for his envy of other creatures by being thrown into the hell called Rorava. In this life, he commits violence against many living entities. Even if you see a worm or you see an insect in the street and you squash it. Therefore, after his death, when he is taken to hell by Yamaraj, and again, as Radhika said, this is to help us be bold when we preach and not be afraid to go out to preach, or not be lazy to go out to preach. After death, he's taken to hell by Yamaraj. Those living entities who were hurt by him appear as animals called rurus to inflict very severe pain upon him. Learned scholars call this hell Rorava because the rurus are there. I want to find in the group of pictures this is, he hurts living entities. So in the second row, you can see the kid is ripping apart an insect, and we see that he goes to the hell called Rorava, where those living entities as animals are ripping him apart. Where am I?
Are the animals that are ripping him apart, are they forever in that hellish planet, or?
Nothing is forever. I know that's the Christian philosophy, but nothing is forever. They, after practicing, to do the horrible things. They take an appropriate body to like doing that. Not generally seen in this world, the Ruru is more envious than a snake. You know, and yes, we do want to hear nectar, we do want to be a gopi and all that. But who, you know, be a gopi and all on 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, with the gopis, but also commenting on the verses of this 5th canto. Jiva Goswami, a gopi, Vilas Manjari, Sanatan Goswami, Lubanga Manjari, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur also. Punishment in hell called Maharorava is compulsory for a person who maintains his own body by hurting others. Like, for example, people who work in a slaughterhouse. In this hell, Ruru animals known as Kravyada torment him and eat his flesh. It's like the picture we showed. The animalistic person who lives simply by bodily concept of life is not excused. He's put in the hell known as Maharorava and attacked by Ruru animals. For the maintenance of their bodies and the satisfaction of their tongues, cruel persons cook poor animals and birds alive. I saw that personally when I was in San Francisco. I forget the name of the place.
Oh, Seattle with the monkey.
It wasn't Seattle, it was San Francisco. So anyway, so there's this restaurant there where they boil lobsters alive and they're screaming like sirens. And they have this monkey in the middle of the table with a hole and his head is there and you just scissor that. Okay, so for the maintenance of their bodies and satisfaction of their tongues, cruel persons cook poor animals and birds alive. Such persons are condemned even by man-eaters. In their next lives, they are carried by the Yamadutas to the hell known as Kumbhipaka, where they are cooked in boiling oil. Did you see that picture? Did we show that? I've seen it before. Yeah, you can just picture it. The killer of the Brahmana is put into the hell known Kala Sutra, which has, Hare Krishna this morning, which has as its circumference of 80,000 miles, and which is made entirely of copper. Did you ever try and walk on heated copper? Heated from below by fire, and from above by scorching sun, the copper surface of this planet is extremely hot. Thus, the murderer of a Brahmana suffers from being burnt both internally and externally. Internally, he is burning from hunger and thirst, and externally, he is burning from the scorching heat of the sun and the fire beneath the copper surface. Therefore, he sometimes lies down, sometimes sits, sometimes stands, and sometimes runs here and there. Doesn't know what to do with himself. He must suffer in this way for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of an animal. But again, he can't die because he has this different kinds of body than we have now that can't die. If a person deviates from the path of the Vedas in the absence of an emergency, the servants of Yamaraj put him into the hell called Hasi Patravana, where they beat him with whips. When he runs hither and thither, fleeing from the extreme pain on all sides, what has happened to him? He runs into palm trees with leaves that are like sharpened swords. So he's running to flee, but he just runs into these trees with sharpened thorns. Swords. Thus, injured all over his body and fainting at every step, he cries out, "Oh, what shall I do now? How shall I be saved?" This is how one suffers. Is there prasadam for them to take? Sumukhi? She's preparing something for the road?
Somebody else did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can get it too.
This is how one suffers who deviates from the accepted religious principles. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport, there's actually only one religious principle. Dharman tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The only religious principle is to carry out the orders of the Supreme Lord, which is man mana bhava man bhakto majaji mam namaskuru. Always think of me, become my devotee, offer your homage unto me and worship me. Thus you will come to me, I promise you this, because you're my very dear friend.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How does one, like, if they're in the hellish planets, how do they get out of it?
Well, as you see from the previous verse, it says one has to suffer this particular kind of hell for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on an animal. But as Radhika said yesterday, it's a different kind of time. And then they have to go through the 8,400,000 species. They end up in one of the species where what they were forced to do in the hellish planet, they enjoy doing, or that's how they live, like a pig eating stool. Or an ant eating pus. They were forced to do that, and then now they just do it. In his next life, the sinful king or governmental representative who punishes an innocent person or who inflicts corporal punishment upon a brahmana is taken by the Yamadutas to the hell named Shukramuka, where the most powerful assistants of Yamaraj crush him exactly as one crushes sugarcane to squeeze out the juice. See, where are those pictures? Where did they go? All right, let's see. Okay, so here's the government person. And you can see he's beating a devotee for doing Sankirtan. See that? And so then you see in the next picture, he's in hell, where he's squeezed by the two rowers. Do you want to ask your question now? Do you need your sister to help you?
No, I explained.
Okay.
Try to. I
Okay.
explained to myself. How to forget anyone.
How to what?
How to forget to lifetime anyone. I love someone. How to forget? Because he did not love me. Now did not love me.
Now what?
Now did not love me.
Loved you before?
Yeah. He is love another person to how to control myself.
Yeah, how do you forget?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very good question. And I think most everybody in the world has experienced that. There's one story, history, real history, of a very beautiful young king named Bhadrahari. And he was very young, very opulent, beautiful. And he loved his wife, the queen, so much. And he gave her a necklace out of his love that would cost billions of dollars. But she did not love the king. She loved the commander-in-chief, Srinapati of the king. So she gave, out of her love, she gave that necklace to the commander-in-chief of the king's army.
This necklace?
Hmm?
This necklace?
Same necklace.
Okay.
Because when people are in love, they don't think. So the commander-in-chief did not love the queen. He loved a prostitute. So he gave the same necklace to the prostitute. And then the prostitute did not love the commander-in-chief.
She loved the king.
She loved the king. So she gave that same necklace to the king. Same. And he threatened her, "Where did you get this? If you don't tell me, I'll kill you." So she told him, from the commander-in-chief. And then he went to the commander-in-chief, "I'll kill you if you don't tell me the truth." He said, "The queen." And then he realized there is no real love in this world. So he left his palace, he left his kingdom, and he took the renounced order of life. He was very intelligent. But for us, ordinary people, how can we forget? So there's a few ways to forget, or at least intellectually understand. We've been speaking the last couple of days that whatever we do to hurt other people, it comes back to us in the same way. We have to be hurt. So maybe in your past life,
Because now he is very happy and enjoy her life.
so you think he